Good evening. Labeling the condition of the health sector as woeful, the opposition People's National Party (PNP) has repeated its call for the immediate resignation of Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton. Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Tufton says that of the 16 babies infected as a result of a bacterial outbreak at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in Kingston, since July, 12 babies have died and not dozens, as has been erroneously reported in the media. The outbreak, which was discovered in July, saw 7 babies dying at the end of that month. 2 died in August, another 2 in September, and 1 in October. Dr. Tufton said on Wednesday that he received a report in late August that there had been a bacterial outbreak in the neonatal intensive care unit at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital, and that the region had gone in with the hospital's senior clinicians to assess and to respond. President of the PNP and opposition leader Mark Golding, during this morning's press conference at the party's headquarters, said he recalled similar incidents where other ministers were punished and asked that something be done.
We have convened this press conference in response to recent events of national importance which have shocked the conscience of the nation. Most immediately is the revelation of multiple deaths of babies at Victoria Jubilee Hospital from July through to October. And I want to commence by expressing my profound sympathies to the parents and family and friends of those babies who died. One cannot imagine the pain of the loss of a newborn baby to the mother, the father, and the wider family and friends. The nation agrees with you, and we know that this is not the first time the country has gone through this, but then it needs to stop. In this instance, what is particularly appalling about it was that there seems to have been a concerted effort not to have this matter come to the public's attention. The large number of mortalities, of deaths that occurred in July did not result in information flowing to the public, and indeed we're even told that the Prime Minister himself was kept in the dark for a long period of time. And indeed it was not until the whistle was blown recently, within the last few days, that this matter came to the public's attention.
Opposition spokesman on health Dr. Maurice Guy says Minister Tufton needs to clarify why he allegedly withheld the information from the country.
The minister needs to come clean to the country to tell the country why is it that he withheld the information, why he kept it a secret, despite the fact that he is indicating that he was more concerned about the chaos it would create. The minister needs to come to the country and give us the timelines within which he knew and why he withheld the information. The minister needs to come to the country and tell us whether other facilities have been affected as well under his stewardship. And so far, I've not heard the minister saying anything to the parents, those persons who have lost their loved ones, as was indicated by the leader earlier on. So we're calling on the minister to have an in-depth audit of all the institutions. We need to know what really transpired at Victoria Jubilee Hospital. We know that there are shortages of personal protective equipment. And this probably is one of the reasons why we have seen what we have seen, what has been brought to light. We also know that specialist nurses within this specialty have not been trained for many years, because the hostel in which the postgraduate training, as we have been advised by Nurses Association of Jamaica, has been closed by the government. So there's no facility to train these nurses. So it's a constellation of things that have these specialist nurses. So it's a constellation of things that has happened that has caused this under this minister's watch. So we need to know.
General Secretary of the PNP, Dr. Dayton Campbell, during today's press conference said that there have been too many catastrophes associated with the Ministry of Health and that the mismanagement and lack of accountability can't be allowed to go on.
We're therefore calling for the immediate resignation of the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Tufton. If Dr. Tufton refuses to do the ethical thing and resign, the Prime Minister must relieve him of his duties as Health Minister. There have been too many catastrophes associated with the Ministry of Health. We cannot allow the continued mismanagement and lack of accountability to go on at the Ministry of Health. How many more people, how many more babies should die before something is done to address the woeful condition of our health sector? For over 6 years, the Ministry of Health has been plagued with report after report, scandal after scandal, tragedy after tragedy under Dr. Tufton's stewardship. Time come for him to resign, and he must do so immediately.
Dr. Tufton has suggested that a severe shortage of nurses could have led to the outbreak of the resistant bacteria that killed a number of the babies. He said the ratio of nurses to babies in the neonatal intensive care unit should be 1 nurse to 2 babies. However, with Jamaica plagued by a severe nursing shortage due to the high number of nurses migrating each year, Dr. Tufton said in an interview recently that we're now at 1 nurse to 7 babies and sometimes more. We will bring you more on this developing story in subsequent newscasts. Still making the news tonight. An Ananda alert has been activated for 14-year-old Daniel O'Connor of Pusey District, Point Hill, St. Catherine, who has been missing since Friday, September 30. Daniel is of dark complexion, slim build, and about 5 feet 5 inches tall. Reports from the Spanish Town Police coming into our news center are that Daniel was last seen at home at about 3 p.m. wearing a white shirt and black jeans. All efforts to locate him have proven futile. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Daniel O'Connor is being asked to contact the Spanish Town Police at 876-984-2305, Police Emergency 119, or the nearest police station. Continuing with the news tonight, attorney for Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement, JABEM, Dr. Marcus Goff, says the land offered to Rastafarians by developers of a property adjoining Bob Marley Beach is not suitable. The developers, Wolf Group, are set to construct a luxury hotel on the property in St. Thomas. Dr. Goff says the families are claiming adverse possession of the small portion of land they occupy. He says an injunction that they sought to prevent the threatened demolition of the Rastafarians' homes on the land has been granted. Meanwhile, Dr. Goff says he will also be filing a case in the parish courts that is intended to ensure the public has long-term access to the beach. Still making Mello TV news tonight, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Lasandra Harrison, has confirmed that following the intervention of the Education Ministry's officials, teachers who were yet to receive their salaries have begun receiving payment. The JTA's president stated that affected teachers who bank with National Commercial Bank have already been paid. Mrs. Harrison noted that although Region 7 was mostly affected, teachers across the regions were also affected. Mrs. Harrison also confirmed that schools will soon begin receiving their ministry grants following a delay in disbursements. And those are the stories making news. I am Shelley Hill. Do stay safe. Thanks for watching and pleasant viewing.